How you doing, YouTube? Matt. That's me. Massive Beer Reviews. Back with a little bit of a twin elephant up in this piece in the form of their Sidewalk chalk. I threw myself off by not doing my intro the same exact way I do it every fucking time. This is a double dry hopped American Double India Pale Ale, 8.3% alcohol by volume. 'Tis canned like a week and a half ago. Comes courtesy of my boy Keith. Government warning, twin elephant. Mindfully brewed. So this is what's in here. Malt base, Pilsner, Pale Oats, winner. And then we have Citra, Meridian, Chinook, Centennial, and Cryo, or Centennial Cryo. Little West Coast vibes coming. And English Ale Yeast, so your London 3, I assume. Let's dive in this sucker, see what it's got. Twin Elephant, love this place. Have not been since pandemic times. I think I did one pickup there. At the beginning of the pandemic. Let's just pour the whole thing in there. Give it a little squeeze. Because that's how you get the extra awesomeness out of it. Anyway. So, yeah. We'll see what's what. Label-wise, it's chalk. I don't know. I'm going to say I love it, but it is what it is. Beer-wise, it's the haze. It's all the haze. Belong to us. It's a little bit darker than what you expect, but it's also, this is a gigantic snifter. So that probably makes it a little bit darker. You have an index finger of khaki colored head on it. Pretty uniform bubbles throughout, so you can get a nose on it. Okay. So I like this nose quite a bit, because I'm getting wafts of new school, getting wafts of old school on here. I mean, you're talking about your Citra. I'm actually not that familiar with Meridian hop. And then, although Centennial is old school, Centennial Cryo. So there's this tropical fruit, this under-ripened tropical fruit thing, but there's also this kind of, I don't want to call it West Coast pininess. There's some kind of minty, piney, spearminty something floating around in this. It's not a huge nose. It reminds me more of something I get at more of like 6.5% as opposed to 8.5%. But there's definitely something interesting there. So it's dancing off that fruity tropical fruitiness, bouncing off that little bit of kind of spearminty, piney kind of resininess, but it has a sweet kind of flutteriness to it. In a very neutral body, there's the sweetness and bitterness are pretty much kept in check, and it's just kind of letting those two bits and pieces of the hop battle back and forth. I think it smells fun. Fun with a hefty dollop of interesting. See if it works. Cheers. That's a cool beer. I'm not going to sit here and say knee-jerk reaction, this is the tastiest thing I've ever tasted. But, that being said, the flavor profile on this thing is weird in a very, very, very fun way. See, I lean forward a lot and do this, and you guys probably can't hear me a lot because my microphone's like up here and stuff. So I apologize. And when I get really excited, I get down low. Anyway, there's this... It's kind of like what I got in the nose. So there's this underripened kind of tropical fruit thing. You can throw a hefty dose of stone fruit in the actual taste on that. And on the flip side of things, you get this kind of, I want to lean into like a pine tree, but a more of a minty eucalyptusy pine tree. And I've said that before, but this plays a bit more unique in that the way that kind of, I say eucalyptus in a way that it doesn't actually take it like eucalyptus. But when I say eucalyptus in my brain, what I assume your brain kind of processes is that Halls cough drop kind of thing where Vicks Vapo Rub, where it kind of permeates your nostrils kind of thing with this kind of vapory kind of medicinal thing. And that's the way the kind of I don't have the correct word to give it. It's probably a little bit more kind of herbally as opposed to pine tree. So we're getting into like cooking herbs. Like it doesn't taste like or smell like these things, but we're getting into more kind of like a basil cilantro kind of thing going on here as opposed to kind of like a pine tree thing, but those kind of vibes. So when you take that kind of tropical fruit, under-ripened tropical fruit, I got to keep expressing that because it's not a sweet beer and it's a little bit kind of under-ripened, but adding that dollop of, again, semi-ripened kind of stone fruitiness, pretty hefty on both of those accounts. You add that effervescent minty eucalyptusy kind of baking herbaliness, because we're just going everywhere now. That's what I'm getting. And I dig it. But like I said, viscerally, knee-jerky, it's not like I'm like, oh my god, this is the best beer I ever had. But the combination of the flavors, the way the beer plays off, the way the beer plays both sweet and bittering without getting heavy-handed, and playing those hops in a tune, in a tenor that I'm not typically used to, in a pleasurable way, because there's some people that do stuff that's not typical, that's not good. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's fun. And it's kind of one of the reasons why I like Twin Elephant so much. It's because they do these things and do them quite well. And they're quite fun. I like this beer a lot. Very much so. Thank you very much, Keith. This comes from Keith. I don't know if you actually mentioned that at the beginning. Go check him out. 93 Lumber. Type it out. 93, not 93. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's just a fun-ass double IPA. Beer's supposed to be fun. Who would have thunk it? Yeah, let's talk about it. Is this one of the better double IPAs I've had? It's like, yes. Is it Mount Rushmore status? No. I don't. It doesn't have to be. Is it? Let's reverse it. Is this one of the more interesting beers I've had as of late? Yes. Is it on that Mount Rushmore? Yes. As far as double IPA goes, the traditional route of the new school, New England style hazy, or even West Coast double IPA, there's some I do dig better than this, just from a visceral knee-jerk reactional kind of standpoint. But it's fun, it's tasty, and I would never push this away, and I can't wait to have it again and see if they pull it off again, because if you duplicate this is interesting for me. Value and availability, no idea. Keith, let me know what's what, and leave you with if you like what we like this beer. If you like interesting, well-done hazies, I know that's kind of like interesting, well-done hazies. A lot of people don't think that category exists, but it does, and this is one of them. So I think this would be a beer, and I say this every now and then about beers. I think this is a beer, if I gave it to an old school beer head, if they drank it, they would really, really enjoy it. The person that kind of, the old curmudgeon person that kind of poops all over hazies, I think if you give him this and he goes, well, I really don't like hazies, but this is kind of interesting. And I think that's a great thing. Oh yeah, there you go. Review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out in the social media stuff. Beer Massif if you want to check me out in the podcasting things. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little Twin Elephant right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.